Hey folks, we just got done riding Ducati's 2022 Panigale V4 S. Now for the 2022 model year, Ducati's done a number of really significant upgrades to make this leader and above class superbike easier and more capable at the racing circuit. Let's start with the engine. Now this bike continues to be powered by Ducati's 1103cc water-cooled V4 engine. This engine is totally awesome. When Ducati debuted this engine for the 2018 model year, they just really blew us away with this power plant. This engine has tons of charisma. It literally sounds like a Desmosedici MotoGP bike. It has tons of power. It makes for a motorcycle that is so fun to ride. And for 2022, what Ducati's done is they've done some really subtle tweaks. They have fitted all new power and combined throttle power mode maps. Now, what these maps do is it allows both an expert level rider and a novice to feel more comfortable when you're behind the windscreen of this bike. In addition to the high power mode and medium power mode, Ducati has added a new low power mode that limits horsepower to 150 horsepower. And more significantly, they've added a direct response full power mode, which gives extremely intimate throttle response when you twist that right twist grip. I was really impressed with that full power mode. It makes you feel more connected to the vehicle. A lot of times manufacturers, when they have those aggressive throttle maps, it makes for a bike that's real herky-jerky and real snappy. This wasn't overly sensitive. It wasn't too snappy. It just allowed you to have real good connection between your right wrist and the business end of the 200 series Pirelli tire. And it's got a new color TFT display that has better fonts, a little bit more intuitive layout. The menu navigation is still a little too clunky for me. For instance, you have to go in the menu, select your settings, and then go out of the menu. They could easily remove some steps in making adjustments from the motorcycle. Now, Ducati's also overhauled its traction control mapping, its semi-active suspension maps, and I couldn't believe how effective this bike was today at the Jerez racing circuit. Coming into this test, I was really pessimistic. I didn't think Ducati could really make a motorcycle that would be significantly easier to ride, but they have. That new gas-charged Öhlins fork is a big step forward for Ducati. I was always a big fan of the previous Öhlins fork on the 2018 spec Panigale V4 S, but this gas-charged unit, it just gives more support when you're really on the brakes, going through a corner fast. When you go over bumps, you feel every bump in the road. This motorcycle has a very, very, very good front end. If you're a motorcycle rider who lives and dies by feel, you are gonna like the handling dynamic of this vehicle. Now, Ducati did some other slight tweaks in terms of ergonomics. The seat, although it's a tad higher, I really liked how flat it positioned me. I like that. I like the reshaped fuel tank. It was much easier to squeeze with my knees when I was going from fifth gear into first gear on the back straightaway here at Jerez. I also really like that Ducati continues to refine the Aero package on this motorcycle. These wings have been reshaped to reduce aerodynamic drag loss at speed, yet they still produce over 55 pounds of downforce at 150 some miles per hour. That really helps keep that front end planted on the ground when you're driving forward off corners and when you're entering high speed turns. Good job, Ducati. Overall, I'm really impressed with the overall package of this 2022 Panigale V4 S. It's still fast, it's still wild, but it's easier to ride. The electronics package allows this vehicle to go from mild to wild with just a few swipes of a button. I also like the new front suspension and just how good this bike handles. You'll really be hard pressed to find a 431-pound vehicle that offers such a wide range of performance. Which brings us to the price. This 2022 Panigale V4 S rings in at $30,000. $30,000 for this bike. That is a lot of money. But if you are looking for a very visceral, fun, exciting motorcycle that is now easier to ride, this Panigale V4 S might be the bike that you're looking for. All right, folks, that's a wrap from our first ride review of Ducati's 2022 Panigale V4 S. Make sure you surf on over to cycleworld.com. That is where all of our written content lives. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs it down if you don't, and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel here so you stay abreast of all of our video content that's coming out in the future. We'll see you later, guys. Thanks for riding with us today.